This review is part of my imdb.com top 250 movies of all time series, and this film is in spot number 167 on that list. No Country for Old Men was released in 2007. It's written and directed by Joel and Ethan Cohen, adapted from a book by Cormac McCarthy, and it stars Josh Brolin, Javier Bardem, Tommy Lee Jones, Kelly Macdonald and Woody Harrelson. So as this film is 13 years old and relatively well known, I will be discussing spoilers. So there's your warning. Josh Brolin plays a hunter who roams his local desert land, and one day he happens upon a drugs exchange which has gone horribly wrong. Lots of people are dead, lots of cars have been shot up, a dog has been killed, one of 2 dogs killed in this film, which is a big no-no for me. And more importantly, he finds $2 million of unclaimed cash in a leather case. So obviously he takes this money like anyone would. Not a good decision, because this money is owned by Anton Chigurh, the lead of one of the drug cartels, who's played absolutely brilliantly by Javier Bardem. We see a few early exchanges of Chigurh as he goes about his business, and it's very clear that he's a total sociopath and psychopath. He kills if he fancies it, and sometimes he gives his potential victims a coin flip to decide their fate.
Call it.
But just for extra added menace, he sometimes doesn't even tell the people what they're flipping for. Brolin's character, Llewellyn Moss, is just an everyday man, really. So now Chigurh is after Moss, and the cat and mouse begins, and it's definitely the hunter becomes the hunted, kind of like Chigurh's the lion and Moss is the gazelle. It's a really bleak film. It's very pessimistic, downbeat. Everyone's miserable and grumpy and craggy faced. Tommy Lee Jones plays Ed Tom Bell, the cop who's brought in towards the end of the case, and he's just had all the enthusiasm beaten out of him in his time. He just doesn't understand the way the world works anymore. He is the old man who doesn't fit in this country. So most of this film is taken up by Moss trying to elude Chigurh and his psychotic means. It's a bit like the Terminator. He will not stop ever until you are dead. And Moss actually holds his own for quite a lot of the film, because he's a hunter who knows how to handle guns. They both injure each other quite often. They both get shot. And even though Moss is a bit of a cold character, you do root for him. You kind of want him to win. The last 20 minutes of this film has confounded film fans since this film was released. It's a very unusual narrative turn. The Moss's character is killed off screen. He's not killed by Chigurh. He's killed by Chigurh's enemies, essentially. So the whole of this film's plot is killed off in a moment, in a whimper. It feels a bit like a slap in the face, because you've been investing your time in this story for a long time. And the rest of the film is generally Tommy Lee Jones just trying to make sense of what's happened, making sense of his life and the world. He just doesn't understand the way things are going. We then see Chigurh catching up with Carla, Moss's wife, played by Kelly Macdonald. Has she got the money, and is he going to be able to get it from her? And when Chigurh gives her the chance to call it, flipping the coin, she decides not to. She says it's up to you. You're a coward if you don't choose. So the end of this film matches what Tommy Lee Jones's world-weary character is beginning to learn. There are no coincidences. Things just happen. Shit just goes down. You can understand why some people are put off by these last 20 minutes. They're so unusual. Not a standard narrative for a film. It just doesn't turn out how you'd expect it to, nor does it feel like a twist or a left turn. It's just not standard. It's kind of like going for a 5-course meal and the dessert is soup. When I first watched this film a long time ago, the ending stuck with me for a long time, and I couldn't really decide if I liked it or not. And this time around, even though Moss's death still feels like a real kick in the teeth, the end sat a lot better with me. It feels almost poetic. And I believe this is a standard of Cormac McCarthy. He's very bleak, poetic. I've only read The Road of his, I've not read this book. And that was the same, very pessimistic, bleak, beautiful and uncompromising. It goes to places where other stories would go for the neat ending, the happy ending. So in summary, it's brilliantly directed and written and acted. Javier Bardem especially plays one of my favourite cinema psychopaths. And my score for No Country for Old Men is 8.5 out of 10. Thank you for watching.